All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Sexual Mastery. As always, I'm Jonathan White. I'm here to help you master your sexual energy so you can magnetize your ideal life. And today I'm going to be talking about evolved relationships and what that entails. So, all right. Thanks everyone for joining. I'm going to get started. So, what do I mean by evolved relationships? So, we often have these sort of cultural ideas and inherited ideas of relationships that we fall into, and often we learn how to interact with the opposite sex from movies, from media, from magazines, also from porn. A lot of men, the only way they learn about sexual relationships is through porn, and unfortunately this gives us a very flawed and idealistic view of what a relationship is, what it should be for people. And what we see is so many people unfulfilled in their relationships and unfulfilled in their lives in general. And I think what this really comes down to is the fact that we don't, first of all, learn to love ourselves. We don't learn how to fulfill ourselves, to keep ourselves balanced. And so we get into a relationship with someone else because we don't know how to love ourselves. We don't know actually how to love that person. And it's a very conditional type of situation. Like, okay, I'm attracted to you. I have this intense initial attraction, but after a few months that wears off. And then you start to see all these flaws in that person. You stop getting along and disharmony ensues. And so I think a big part of this is the fact that they're reaching out to the outside world to try to fulfill themselves. They're reaching out to try to find happiness from an external source. Well, if I have this person in my life, then I'll be happy, But eventually, that person is when you have such a conditional state of happiness and fulfillment in your life. Eventually, the situation is going to change, and that will no longer be the case. And so, what's going to happen then? So it's about learning to, first of all, be fulfilled within yourself and love yourself. Trying to take something varying. You're overflowing with this life force, this love, and you're able to share that with that person. When two people come together, having an abundance of energy, an abundance of self-love, and they're able to, they're processing their own shit. That's a huge part as well. Is like we often unload, our traumas, our negative emotions on other people because we don't know how to resolve them ourselves. So it's like, well, this is your fault. This is your responsibility. That's often what relationships are, as a type of therapy for us, where we expect our partner to be our therapist, but it usually doesn't work out very well. So the most critical skill, in my opinion, to being able to have a sustainable relationship is being able to process your own negative emotions, your own reactivity as it arises. Very, very, very important. Another important aspect here is learning to keep your center within yourself. Very often in relationships, they put their center in the other person. It becomes their source of fulfillment. As I said before, the source of happiness and fulfillment in their life, this other person, this external, source. But when you place your center in someone else, if that person walks out of your life, then you're out of your center. Your center is gone. It just walked away. So where are you now? You have no center. You're off balance and you're lost. And we see this so commonly with people when they go through breakups in their relationships. They lose their center. They completely lose themselves, and they often just get themselves in the same situation over and over. So being able to keep your center is very, very important. Keeping your center within yourself, being fulfilled within yourself, being content within yourself is very important. Before getting into a relationship. Another, of course, important aspect of a evolved relationship is the way you approach sex. For most people, sex is a completely physical act. It's really just the scratching of an itch. And there's so much potential to the sexual exchange. And most people are just barely scratching the surface of what's possible. It's a completely physical experience. Typically it just ends with the man discharging his energy into the partner. Instead of really capturing that sexual charge, it's lost. It's just immediately dispersed. So men, it's very important to learn to retain your semen during sex, to be able to build up that charge and to harvest that energy, to store it within your body, to circulate it throughout your body, and then circulate it through your partner's body as well. A very common point people make is that, when when the man's not ejaculating during sex, the woman feels like she's missing out on something, but this definitely doesn't have to be the case. It's like if you want to give someone some apples, do you uproot a whole apple tree and give it to them? No, when you ejaculate, you're uprooting basically your kidney system, your internal energy, the source of your energy. So it's not a sustainable thing to ejaculate every time you have sex, but you can still give them that energy consciously. It's by consciously exchanging that sexual energy, you can still consciously, men can exchange their yang essence into their partners, and it's completely energetic, and it's completely fulfilling, much more fulfilling in my experience than an ejaculatory ending to sex. So you consciously exchange that energy, you balance each other out, because every relationship, there's a yin yang dynamic, there's a male female dynamic. Whether or not it's a same sex relationship, there's always this yin yang dynamic. Someone's more yang, someone's more yin. And because you have an excess of this energy, you exchange it with the other person and you balance each other out. This is basic polarity, and that's what relationships are based on. And so it's really about taking responsibility for yourself. When you accept that you are solely responsible for your own happiness, your own happiness, your own health, your own sense of fulfillment. No one else is responsible for that. It's really up to you. So taking that responsibility in your life, not depending on other people to make you happy or to make you feel fulfilled, is very important if you want to get any sustainable relationship, any sustainable fulfillment in life. So learn to be complete within yourself, and then share that with others who you choose to share your energy with. You can circulate the sexual energy without squeezing muscles. Yes, you don't have to use any muscular squeezing to circulate energy. For a lot of people, though, in the beginning, it's easier to use the muscular squeezing, such as the perineum or different muscles, because it gives you a more physical sense. And the squeezing of the muscles helps to draw that energy and blood away from the genitals. But when you develop skill, you can do it completely internally with no muscular engagement at all. Just complete internal awareness of moving that energy through your body. And another evolved aspect is using sex as not a method to discharge your energy. So many people, sex is just a way for them. It's just another addictive pattern for them to release their stress, release their tension built up, and most men just discharge it into their partner. Instead of sex being a way to release and discharge, you can turn it into a method to build yourself, to build up your energy, to heal yourself and to heal your partner. You can consciously use the sexual energy that you build up to heal different areas of the body. You can bring it into, a weakened organ or a weak meridian system, something like that. You can consciously guide this energy during sex to heal yourself, to heal your body. It's so powerful. It's like sex can be the most potent medicine ever, but for so many people, it's just completely unconscious. The true power of sexual energy, it's completely unconscious, and they can't harness it at all. So one of the most important aspects of improvement you can make in your life is to learn to work consciously with your sexual energy. Sex can either create or it can destroy. You can either use it to discharge your tension, discharge your stress, discharge all of your energy until you're weak and you're old, because constantly draining your sexual energy just causes you to age quickly. Or you can use sex to build yourself. You can use it to build your dreams, build your health, your happiness, your sense of balance, heal your body. It's really the most potent medicine that there is. So I think we're in a time where people are waking up and realizing there's more to life, and there's more to sex, more to relationships than we've been taught. So it's really a time of evolution in our personal lives and in the world in general. Sexual energy is the most powerful force that we have to work with. And you can either let it control you, drive your impulse you into unfulfilling relationships just so you can get laid, into looking at porn, draining your energy every day. You can let this sexual energy control you, or you can learn to work with it consciously. You can use this sexual energy to manifest, to build the life of your choosing. Sexual energy is creative energy. It creates life, it created the universe. And you can use this energy to create absolutely anything that you want to, if you know how to use it consciously. work harmoniously with it. So I'm just going to answer some questions. If you have any questions, feel free to send them to me. How to manifest with the energy. So first of all, you need to be able to circulate this energy throughout your entire body. Open the microcosmic orbit, the main energy pathway in the body, up the spine, down the front of the body, this loop that the energy travels in, because you circulate that sexual energy through this orbit and it refines the energy. It turns it from this raw sexual energy that isn't always usable into something more refined, something that you can actually use. And by circulating it through the orbit connects to all the other meridians of the body. So the sexual energy flows through your whole body. And then it's going to pour into everything that you do. It's just pouring into the world around you, pouring into your aura. Everyone around you can feel it. And so when you're consciously working with that sexual energy, and then you're being intentional, creating an intentional life using, practices to manifest, whatever that is for you, you can spend some time every day focusing on what it is that you want to bring into your life. See yourself having already accomplished that. Feel the feeling of having accomplished that. This is basic, manifestation practice. But at the same time, when you're cultivating your sexual energy, you can do this in an aroused state if you want, and it becomes much more powerful. When that sexual energy is flowing through your body and your body mind is integrated, because many people, their head is separated from the rest of their body. They're not in touch with the rest of their body. The organs have their own consciousness. It's not just our brains, it's our entire body that is producing what we call the mind. And so you need to get these things in harmony, in coherence, and before you're able to really consciously manifest. And then when you're pouring the sexual energy into that, it's incredibly powerful. And this is what I teach in my 6-week course, is how to really gain this deeper relationship and harmony within your body and mind. Any other questions? Feel free to send them to me. I'm teaching a retreat in Thailand in early November. It's going to be a men's retreat. Still putting together the final details, but I'll be announcing that soon. But if you're interested in that, send me a message. It's going to be really, really amazing. All right, guys, thank you for joining me today, and kind of a shorter one today, but I will be back again next week, same time. And as always, thanks for joining. Have a great day.